Back at you live, folks. Late night again. Well, 11 o'clock. Uh, if you're new here, thank you. Subscribe, comment. Uh, I want to talk about Fani Willis, Georgia. She, the DA, the prosecutor down in Georgia, was she? They did the due process all wrong. Well, it's going to be exposed, and she's possibly going to get charged because there's White House politicians that are saying from behind the scenes, the White House ordered her, the Department of Justice, to lock up Trump, to charge Trump. And also to deflect what was going on with Hunter and everything else. Hunter's counsel for his crimes is the same White House official that's supposed to be probing the case. The same White House official that's supposed to be probing Hunter Biden is the same guy that's his legal counsel. You can't make this stuff. You can't make this stuff up anymore. You just can't make it up. So Fani Willis, Fani, another rogue, but the Georgia senators, they're calling for a special counsel, and there's one guy of in the Georgia Department of Justice or Attorney General that's just totally won't go after her, so they can go for federal charges and other things. But see what's going on with these Democrats, these corrupt Democrats. The gig is up. The gig is up for them. And let's hear what the dog says. The A-Dog. I like this guy.
Literally. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was hearing in the last part of the video. Because that right there could be something. If Joe Biden and the Biden administration is working with Fani Willis to try to take out Donald Trump to keep him from running.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I said, even if Donald Trump don't run, I still don't see Joe Biden becoming getting reelected again.
It's just common knowledge. This stuff is so transparent. It's not even scandalous. It's not even, I wonder, well, do you think about, it's just, they just put it right in your face. But I'd like to believe that it's over. It's over for these Democrats. They will stop at nothing to just run Donald Trump ragged. Whether you agree or not, or like Donald Trump or not, it's the Constitution and people's rights. If they do it to a president, if they do this kind of shit to a president, what do you think if they come yank you up off the street? What do you think? You got some kind of shot with some local lawyer or some public defender? They'll run at nothing. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, new guy in here? I'm just doing another video. I've been pumping them out and speaking my piece. I'm for a better country. Whoever Democrat, Republican, if anybody could do a good job, I'm down with it. But boy, I mean, the facts that are coming out at what really happened behind the scenes, it's nice to meet you, pal. It's just outrageous. It's outrageous. And somebody's going to get charged. Someone's going to get charged. That Georgia attorney general or district attorney, one or the other, in the state office isn't going after Fani Willis, but the federal charges, because the senator is a Republican. for that state. And this prosecutor don't want to get on board to charge Fani Willis. But it's in the infancy stages right now, but we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. And I don't know. Every day it's something new. I never claimed to be a Democrat or a Republican. I just know I got eyes to see and ears to hear. And that's who's doing a good job. I mean, and then they try to pull this old shell game on the blacks and everything. Like all the blacks are just supposed to be Democrats, and the blacks can't think for themselves, and you know they'll just buy anything you're selling them. And now I like all the black YouTube channels, who's got tons more subscribers than me, and they're setting the record straight. Just like this guy, the real dog, Lou Valentino. There's a couple more, and they're not playing that. You know, like the Democrats just insulting all of America's intelligence, number one, but then they try to use the black population to like, rile them up and everything else. But they seen a switch, because everybody can be a thinker, everybody can have a high IQ, or anybody can just have common sense enough to see what kind of games they're playing. And they use all these fancy tools, propaganda, everything else, and they think that everybody and the blacks are going to go, yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's go protest in the street, blah, 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 blah. They ain't buying that bullshit no more. Nobody's buying it. Let's continue on.
Just don't see it. But we're going to check it out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Shout out to everybody been showing so much support. Everybody that's been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody who clicked on this video for the very first time. I appreciate you as well. Without further ado, let's dive straight into
this guy's good, the real Dog G. He's good.
This is an emergency right now. I'm calling for an emergency special session. I've had senators ask me, what do you do when you have an emergency special session? First step, Steve, defund Fani Willis. Now, these senators, they want to use semantics with their constituents, and they want to say, well, she receives local funding or she receives federal funding. Well, she also receives Georgia's.
Why should she be receiving taxpayer dollars to go on this bullshit witch hunt? It's just crazy. Osteanics. I wasn't doing political stuff and everything. I was doing a lot of old mafia stories back in the day, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not doing any more mob stories. I was running crazy years ago. I'm not doing that. I'm doing current events, a couple different things. And this is a turbulent time in America. And I'm just giving my commentary on it. And that's all. I got a small channel. I've been censored so many times. They've blocked me. They ran me into the road, but I'm still pumping, whether I get 10 views or 500 views. Oh, the mafia, my old mafia stories get some views here and there. But whatever it is, I'm going to keep banging. You know? No matter what it is, you just keep throwing punches. No matter what. I've been under much adversity in my life, but I don't quit. I just keep going. I keep going. They threw everything at me but the kitchen sink, but you just brush it off. Oh, all right. Well, you're welcome in. You know, it's a small channel. I don't have fancy introduction, but I'm very well educated. I'm book smart, straight A student, Dean's List universities, book smart, street smart, been around the block more times than the mailman. And I give some shout out to Jesus too. So, paranormal videos. Yeah. I love the paranormal. I love the paranormal. I love the paranormal. I was on the other side if you read my book. Well, I was dead for an hour and a half. And I'm back. Ta-da. Not much, bands. You know, we like to see what's going on in the country, the world, and everything else. But I always stayed on my channel. You know, we can't get too twisted up. Yeah, we want our country to be in good standing, but we still have to go out and enjoy life every day because we don't know, we don't know when you don't know when that Piper calls. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. Life is precious. And, I've been doing these political things on here because I don't know. I really didn't like Donald Trump's personality or whatever. I was a little blind and shallow or whatnot. And, I just knew Biden was a scrub from the jump. I knew Biden was just a scrub right from the jump. But I didn't really know too much about Donald Trump. And that's why we can't be prejudiced about things also, because we just make judgments. And then I started listening to Donald Trump and I was like, this guy is not playing. And he achieved the things he said he was going to do. He made good on his promises. I'm 60 years old. I've been watching politicians make promises since the 70s. I've been watching these scumbag politicians on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, make promises since I was a kid. And they just played the game. They played the game. Donald Trump came along. And it was over. They don't realize that Joe Biden is the biggest racist known to mankind. And they can't stand that Donald Trump has a huge backing from the Afro-American black population and the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans and the Italians and everybody else under the sun that has half a brain to think. No, that boy ain't changing his stripes, but the gig is up. Osteanics, the gig is up. Even put politics aside. If I went to a dinner and I saw Joe Biden and I saw him talking and everything else, you just have an instinctual mechanism within you that you know something is a little off balance there. Not during these senile years, but even before, when he was talking shit out of both sides of his mouth. And they talk like the people are stupid. They get up there, blah, 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 blah. And they just think the population has no intelligence or intellectual mechanism in place, and they had enough. So when I look at Donald Trump and Joe Biden, well, I look at my pocket. I look at my money. I want the country to be good and everything else. But at the end of the day, how's my money looking? I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. And how's my pocket looking? Oh, they're saying the economy's all this and that. Inflation, I go to town and back, it's $10. It was $5 under Donald Trump. A loaf of bread is a lot. I'm looking at my pocket. Yes, I want domestic affairs to be great like they were with Donald Trump. I want international affairs to be great like it was with Donald Trump. Yes, I want loyalty and patriotism to be great like it was under Donald Trump. Yes, of course, I want them things for my country, but I want my pocket to be right. And $6 for a gallon of milk. Asti. So, and then they try to fool the blacks and low-income blacks that they think they have the automatic vote when now they've come out and they're just like, no. They just did a poll. 79% said they don't favor Donald Trump. 79%. They said, no, we don't like him. We were fooled. We were fooled. Nah, we were fooled. We were fooled. Who are they going to run? Who are the Democrats going to run? Donald Trump again? Oof. And Donald Trump is going to run probably with Vivek Ramaswamy. He's going viral. Vivek, V-I-V-E-K, Ramaswamy, Indian cat, smart. He's like a miniature Trump, Indian cat, young, and he should be Trump. He should run with Donald Trump. And you've seen Vivek Astyanics? You've seen Vivek Ramaswamy? Okay. Yeah, I got lawyer chops. So you'll probably see Ramaswamy team up maybe for the VP, maybe. But if he's not Trump's vice president, then after Trump wins this and does his term, you'll see him in the 2028 election. So the gig is up for them. The gig is up. And now let's just see how this pans out with this Fani Willis, this other devil who's being exposed. The tables are going to turn. There's going to be a 360. And she might end up getting cuffed and stuffed into a police car. So they're trying to get off as much as they can right now, throw everything they can, try everything like a freaking crazy fire drill. And the more they do it, the more America sees it. They're only hurting themselves. These Democrats don't even have viable strategists to say, wait a minute, chill out. We got to try to rethink this. We're only sinking our own ships here. We can't roll like that anymore. We can't go just, people aren't stupid. People aren't stupid. Oh, they voted for Joe Biden because they didn't like Donald Trump. So whoever was running against Donald Trump, that's who they were going to vote because they voted emotionally. They voted emotionally. They didn't vote as a patriotic American. They didn't vote as whether they wanted money in their pocket or a good economy or low prices, low gas prices. No. Well, Democrats, you got what you voted for, Yeah, they were just finding votes. I mean, you could unpack that and just you know what, sir? Let me tell you something about the social media and a lot of things that you see that are quote unquote exposed, historically speaking, currently and in the future. When you see something like that's exposed, quote unquote, on the media or wherever, whatever media vehicle, it probably is usually only 30 to 40% of the fat of what really. So we think, oh, this was exposed. Yeah, this was exposed. Yeah, they shine some light on something, but in reality, that was only the tip of the iceberg, and you don't even know the other 50 or 60% of what was really exposed. Because you got to remember, they're all politicians. They all play this game. Whose side am I on today? Whose side am I on tomorrow? So they got to tiptoe a little bit, because tomorrow they might be under the frickin' spotlight. So, you can only sling so much shit. And then, you got some Republicans siding with the Democrats. You got some Democrats siding with the Republicans, because these scumbags they don't speak from their heart. They don't speak and from their true motives. They're just thinking politically. They're just politically posturing themselves for what would be the best thing to do. But it backfired on them all, because they're all fake. They're all evil. They're all non-legitimate. Instead of being a true person and just sticking up and defending these things if they're able to, but they can't, because it's all a merry-go-round of illusion and bullshit and a shell game. It's all craziness. America's had enough, Isn't it odd when a certain virus hit Trump was about to rise? Oh, yeah. I can't talk about medical stuff on here because they'll block me. I've been blocked and censored many times, so I got to watch how I roll on here. So, yeah, it's, that's all right, man. That's all right, man. I thank you for coming in here. I got a small channel, but I'm going to keep pumping them up. No more mafia stories, anything like that. I'm a Renaissance man. I'm well educated, well versed. I got eyes to see. I got ears to hear, and I'll chirp like a mofo. And I'm going to keep pumping these out. I'm just going to keep pumping these out, and I'll gain momentum on my channel. I don't have fancy bells and whistles, because you know what? If people like my show, they like it. If the ones are looking for fancy editing and fancy introductions and all that, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. Yeah. I mean, you can dress something up real fancy and it might not be good. But I could roll with the best of the big channels, but they've been blocking me down. They've been choking me. They've been choking me. But that's all right. That's all right. It's all right. Everything's good. Everything's good. I'm totally blessed. I'm totally blessed. So it's people like this. These guys come in here and they help me out. Buff New York 66. What you think of Sammy? I ain't doing no more mafia stuff, bro. No more, bro. You must have just jumped in. Sammy the Bull Gravano. God bless him. He's a senior citizen. What matters what I think about Sammy or Mike Francis or anything. There's no value into that. There's no value. Even Mike from years ago, Mike F. He's done with the stories. He's got the biggest mafia channel on YouTube. He's done with the mafia stories. Fred, I'm still here, man. I'm still here, Fred. That's years ago. But that stuff's no good to talk about. I mean, you've heard, if you heard these mob channels, if you heard one story, you heard them all. My godfather was an enforcer, and it was no good. It was no good. when he was a senior citizen, it was no good psychologically, you know. So, yeah, there's interesting stories about, just entertainment value of a mafia story has entertaining value to it, but a lot of it is grounded in violence and murder. And who tells the most honest stories, in your opinion? Well, Mike Francis will tell a story and it'll be truthful and everything, but then he'll throw little curveballs in there because everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. I'm 60 years old. I'm still alive. I was younger back then, but Mike Francis, in my opinion, is way more credible than Sammy the Bull Gravano. I mean, that's, and I'm going to try to be a Christian, even though it's tough because I go nuts sometimes. I'm going to try to be a Christian the way I was raised, but I get a little animated about these things and then I go off the rails a little bit. So I got to try to mind my neck a little bit, but I don't know. Well, in America, likes dirty laundry. We like the blood and guts and everything else. But I was around people. See, the viewers see it, and it looks like a movie. Wow, that's a story. It's like that's a story. But it's not a Hollywood story. There are people that suffered. The wives are crying. The children are crying. They're going to funerals. They're going to prison to visit their husband, their father, their grandfather. See, all that stuff the Joe viewer doesn't see. And I try to touch upon some of that stuff, but you get burned out in your mind because it's like, let the dead rest. But Joe Viewer out there, Joe Viewer wants more. Well, he stabbed him so hard that he was up against the wall and the knife went all the way through and he was stuck to the wall because the knife was this big. And then they went out and had a coffee. They came back. He bled out. They got a chainsaw. And you guys want to hear that stuff. You guys want to hear that stuff. And where did they bury him? Oh, I don't know. But, I'm just making that up, So it's like people want to hear a good story and murder and violence and that soap opera, it's like a soap opera. What happens next? Yeah, and tune in tomorrow. Did they whack him? Did they let him go? And everything else, Remember A-Team, B-Team in Rochester in the 70s? Yes, where does Pimperson come from? Yeah. I was friends as a teenager at the racetrack with Big Gene DeFrancisco. Big Gene. Pimperson comes in here with this. They were bombing. People don't realize that the Rochester mob was just as crazy as New York City or any other organization. The Rochester mob was nasty. The Rochester mob. I heard some stories that I don't want to repeat with certain people that, they were bombing. They were making bombs and they were burning. They were arsonists also. I mean, they'll pull the trigger on somebody, but the Rochester mob. Big Gene DeFrancisco, his wife wrote a book. Big Gene from the 70s, Pipperson. His wife wrote a book called Married to the Mob. He treated me good. He gave me money to gamble. He didn't know how to read a racing form. We're at the racetrack, and I met him there, and I used to pick horses for him, and he didn't know how to read it, but we were making money, and he was generous, and I knew he knew my backstory with my godfather in Brooklyn and my mother by association. So he stood near my mom at the track, and I was around my mom. And then we met, and then he was like, pick me some horses. And he just had stacks of money. He had just got out of prison. Big Gene. Rochester mob. Yeah, they had the A-Team, B-Team. There's no mob around anymore. Don't believe anything you hear. There's no mafia anymore. The mafia, what are the rackets? You could get your drugs from the pharmacy. Go to your doctor if you want drugs. If you want to gamble on sports, go online, DraftKings. Go to the casino if you want to gamble. The government is the mob now. The government's running the rackets now. But when the mafia was doing it, it was a crime. Now the government does it, and it's legal. Times are truly changing. Times are truly changing. I appreciate you guys coming in here and keeping me company. This is a small channel. They've ran me through the ringer, but I'm crying like a little bitch. But I'm just stating, I got 400 subscribers. I was rising up quick with the mob stories. So I'm losing because I've said many times in my previous videos, I'm not going to really do too many more old crime mob stories or whatever like that. And I wrote a book. It might be in the link if you want to know the real deal. So I appreciate the people coming in here. I'm just building up. I'm doing different content, but right now, right through the elections, I'm just gonna keep speaking my piece. I piggyback some of these other guys with these big channels, and I'll put the phone up to the thing so you guys could hear it, Yeah. My godfather worked freelance for hire, but he was mostly around the Colombo family. But that doesn't mean that he didn't do work for other families. Now, if the Colombo family was against, like Gambino or Genovese or somebody like that, maybe, but he didn't have a real allegiance to one family. If the price was right. Buffalo, New York. What about the Lenova Pizza? Is that Tadaro? I was in college with his grandson. I was at business school with his grandson. I think that was Tadaro. It's online. I think it's online. It's called They Dead Missed. It's a memoir of my life and how I've been blessed, and I dodged death a lot of times. Even when I overdosed, I was dead and everything else. When I was young, I was in the hospital for a year with pneumonia and mono. So I was down. So it's a stupid title. They Dead Missed. It's a stupid title, but, is there a link in here? Is that Mancuso's? The fancy car place? Mancuso's? Somebody was buying those Ferraris. I was born in Brooklyn. That's where my godfather came from. I was born in Brooklyn, and then we were raised, and then my mom was from Western New York. And then I was running around, running errands for these people, and I'd go back and forth to New York. Oh, that's the Dara, yeah. Real smart. Either the son or the grandson, because this was a few years ago. Oh, I don't really know too much about that. Talk about legal stuff. I don't have immunity like them other channels do. Them other channels have immunity. Not that I did anything violence or any violent or anything like that. I ran and got bread and milk. Read the book. But I keep it to a minimum here because, you know why. You know why. But I wasn't raised to do violence on people. I'm from a single parent, taught us the right way, and I wasn't raised to do violence on people. No, I was raised to do love and compassion, help the underdog. That's how I was raised. I'm not one of those mob channel Guidos. Oh, yeah, stab him in the neck. Yeah, no. I'm not one of those Guidos. No. I was around a lot of them, and I didn't like some of them guys. I got in trouble one time, almost cost me my life, and they had to save me in New York because I wasn't a made guy, and you can't talk shit to a made member. And I actually did it twice. You know, if somebody's talking shit and trying to insult you and put you down and everything, and I'm up at the club and they're rocking and rolling and they're all made members and they're I can't tell them, hey, F you, or something like that. I can't do it. And that'll get you a bullet. That'll get you a special delivery. So, no, I haven't. Is it just called Detroit Gangsters, Buffalo? Yeah, they made everything legal now. James Niagara. Oh, wow. Yep. But football season's coming. It's in the air. I already got the schedule for, I remember when I used to take the action and everything. Oh, man. Now, well, you know what? As far as organized crime and whether the mafia exists or not, I could only give my opinion because I can't be everywhere at once. But let me just say this. If there's a bookie in New York, hey, you Italians are out of, I'm an easygoing guy. You see, I like to laugh and everything. I'm 60 years old. I wasn't a strong, I could fight a little bit, maybe to hold my own, but you can't fight against a person that has a gun. So you can't fight against a person that has a gun. You ain't gonna win, But no, I forgot what I was gonna say. It was probably a lie. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. You can't be everywhere at once. My good people in here keeping me company, an old man like me. The mafia, okay, just say you, James, you took action. You're a bookie now. You're taking action, James, or Buff New York or Pimperson. You're taking action. You're taking in $5,000 a week. Are you organized crime? What if it's just little old you? So is that organized crime? You're taking action today, 2023. Is that organized crime? Say you got 10 customers, 15 customers, 20 customers, and Well, so that's leading to this point. That's the bridge to this point. There's still bookies out there. It's a reasonable statement to make. And there's bookies that are for high rollers. Now, you go to the casino and you catch a hit for 1,200, 14. You got to show ID. You got to show ID, and they want your license to show your information if you make a score. Why does the government and the Indians have to know when you made a score? They don't care about when you blow thousands, but if you happen to win one week, then you have to show your information. So with that being said, there are bookies that handle strictly $500 bets, $1,000 bets, and up. There's corporate executives and wealthy people out in the world that don't want to be on cameras in casinos putting bets in. And then if they make a score, when they go to the window, they have to show their ID. Some people just don't roll like that. What gives the government the right to barge in on that? They don't care if you're losing 10,000. Oh, no, that's fine. They don't need any ID then. But when you go to that window to collect a nice piece of change, now you got to, what do they want, a pint of blood too? With your social security card and your license and all of that? So there's bookies out there. I don't know if they're involved with a crime family, but they would be prosecuted as organized crime, but they would be their own individual. Tony Spaghetti, that would be his crime family. Tony Spaghetti, that would be his name of his crime family. One-man gang, takes bets from big people. Them guys up there back in the day, where they were betting, you know, a lot of degenerate gamblers went down. You know, a lot of these guys in the mafia made good money, just basic weekly pay, plus everything that they grabbed, everything else that they hustled, and they'd be broke by Wednesday. A lot of degenerate gamblers. Everybody in the mob, mostly 95% of the people in the mafia organized crime went broke. They went broke. That's gambling. The bookies live in the house on the hill, and the gamblers live in the city with neighbors all over them. And I knew an individual, well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Tuesday, you know, and a lot of times you hear about, oh, they didn't pay. Oh, go break their leg. Yeah, I mean, there were some bad actors in the mob. This is a misconception. This is a misconception of organized crime mafia. This is a misconception. You got Joe Blow, degenerate gambler, blows his paycheck every week for years and years and years. And now he owes $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You think they're going to go rough him up? You think they're going to rough him up? No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. They don't want any trouble. What are they going to do, rough him up? Then his wife calls the police and say, these guys over here did it. And then you want to open your business up to some people in higher numbers, 15, 20, 30, 45,000. Well, that's another story. But, you know, oh, break their leg, you know. Oh, go break their leg, all that bullshit. Oh, they baseball bat. If he owed 40,000, And see, this would happen sometimes too. A guy goes on a winning streak. He beats the mob for 70,000, maybe in 5 weeks. He beats him for 70,000. 3 weeks later, he loses. He owes 10,000, and now he can't pay. So it's all circumstantial. Every situation is its own situation with certain circumstances. Now, a guy that beat the mob for 70,000 in 5 weeks, and then the 6th week he blows 10,000 and he can't pay, he might be in a little trouble. They're gonna confront him. Whatever they do, they can make arrangements or stuff like that. But when you got a fish on the hook that's like an ATM machine to the mob, and he gets in a little financial bumps in the road, you keep him. You still buy him dinner. Even if he owes 4,000 or 5,000. You beat him the last 3 or 4 years. It ain't all that Guido bullshit that you see. There's some class. There's class involved too. These people got wives and children and everything else who you might be the godfather to or you know. But certain situations. But there's still some big bookies in this area that take in 50,000 a week, 100,000 in action. Baseball, people ain't into baseball that much. I mean, they'll bet on that. But when football and basketball come rocking and rolling, yeah, it's prime time. So this started off with that scumbag from Georgia. I can't remember her name. Lonnie Willis, running all that interference on Donald Trump. But hey, these people come in here, join me. That's all right. So I didn't know my views. I like getting views in here or everything, but after they censored me and started blocking my videos, I want the numbers to go up, subscribe, share, like, comment, and all that. But I'm hip to the game now. I could start rising up again, and they'll just shut me down out of the blue. So I just take it. Whoever I get, I get. How many subscribers I get. And I just take it because I know the ropes now. I mean, like they say, it is what it is. And they could stop me at any time. So I'm just going to get it in while I can, while they still let me, because censorship and everything else. So, yeah. I know. I remember years ago when you could bet 50-cent daily doubles at a bookie for the horse races. You could bet a 50-cent daily double or $1 daily double, and it was a $2 minimum bet years ago. But I worked for a few people in the books, and I was a really good mathematician, college mathematics, probability, statistics, analysis of variance, and other fields of knowledge, including math. And I used to advise to some of them to tweak the numbers, to tweak the lines, and get all the other bookies all pissed off and go, "Oh, you got a bad line. Somebody might try to middle it." Well, you're going to be on the bad end of the middle. if a team's -10 and another team, and then you make a -7, well, you could bet both ways and hope hope the game ends on 8 or 9. But if it doesn't, there's going to be a loser on one side, if you guys understand. I'm not going to unpack it, but if you understand, when they try to middle a game, if there's a bad line and the line's got a 3 or 4 point discrepancy, so they'd get all their nuts riled up and there would be a bad line. They would think it was a bad line, but I was always on the better side of it. I had a formula years ago, and it seemed to work. I'm broke now. I don't have any money now. I don't have any money. My daughter's an adult, and I'm glad that I got to raise her and provide her with everything she needed and everything. And she's a successful 30-something-year-old woman, and my job is done. My job is done. So I really don't look like, I mean, money comes in handy. Yeah, money comes in handy. And the life I've led, where money was such a big, money was just going for the money, just going for the money. Since playing cards when I'm a kid, playing cards for quarters and dollars, just go for the money. I'm 60 years old now. Yes, money comes in handy, but I don't trip on it that much anymore. I've realized that there's other things other commodities other than money that are more valuable to me. Like these good people coming in here and keeping an old man company. That's money to me now. My daughter still says, "I love you, Daddy." That's money. The beautiful sun and the sky and the Mother Nature, that's money. Watching the horse races, that's money. So I guess that's what broke people like me say. I got everything I need. I'm blessed. You know. So I got my life. And I'd rather have my life than money. So, yeah. I know some Pipperson. I know some very, very, very wealthy people, and they complain. They're complaining. And I said, "What? Enough's enough. Enjoy. Every day the guy's horns are ripe. I was like, enjoy, you know. Gosh, you know, you got to enjoy. People worship money. I used to. When I had a lot, I wanted more. And I just keep going. Just doing 90 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour. Just go. Just, wow. You know. I used to tell the guys, bet it all, sleep in the streets. All the gamblers, bet it all, sleep in the streets. Guys that's gambling. But there's a lot of wealthy people that go through life to accumulate wealth and reach that standing and or status. And you know what? They don't go for shit. They're tightwads. Come on, let's go to Tioga Racetrack. Oh, gas is $5 a gallon. Oh, you're worried about gas? I'm broke and I'll put the gas in the tank. Wow. Holy cow. Jeez. Wow. It's I don't know. It's something about A lot of wealthy people are just tight. Oh, well, that's how they got to be. No. They made moves. They weren't collecting bottles and saving here or there. They made it to be wealthy in business and stocks and other types of things. Believe me, it wasn't blood, sweat, and tears. So, no, I never did prison. No. I didn't do a lot. The biggest crimes I ever did was run marijuana years ago. The biggest type of crime I might have did was distribution of that once upon a time. But I never did. No. I didn't do any. I didn't need to. I didn't need to do a crime. I didn't need to do a crime to go out in the world and then, no, I didn't need to do that. I'm educated. I worked different types of jobs here and there because of my degrees in college and my degree in college and everything. I have different degrees, but I'm a Renaissance man. I never stayed in one thing too long. That's all. But, crimes like to just go shake somebody down, or I knew that people were doing them. I was a strategist and tell some of the wise guys, if you're going to do this, you don't need to get caught, because there's guys going to jail and you're visiting them in jail, and all they had to do is take certain precautionary measures and they wouldn't have got busted. So I might say, hypothetically speaking, if you're going to do this, why not do it like this and then this? So it's foolproof. So many of these wise guys went down for just being no IQ, no intelligence. I'm not saying there wasn't some sharp thinkers out there, but a lot of wise guys went down, and all they had to do is take a couple precautionary measures and they would have been fine. That's all. And if you're dealing drugs, let's just say hypothetically speaking, if you're dealing drugs, my good people, we got 5 in here, you're dealing drugs. What are you going to do? Have your customer come to your house? Or when you make your connect, are you going to go to their house? Traditionally speaking, people would do that. Or I'll meet you in the parking lot behind the mall, or I'll meet you somewhere over here. Most of the time, historically speaking, that's how drug deals took place. And the mafia dealt drugs. Don't believe that shit you see on YouTube. The family say, oh, they didn't deal drugs. They dealt drugs. Every crime family in New York dealt drugs. That's common knowledge. But you're going to go cop something. You're going to go cop a drug from Sam. So I might have did some sneaky things here or there, but I'm not going to see Sam face to face. I'm going to say, that gas station or that convenience store, or something over here or whatnot. Go in the shit house, put it up in the ceiling, take off. He pulls in 5 minutes later, fill the tank, use the shit house, go take it down. You could exchange the money anywhere else after that. Anywhere else. At a gambling joint, at a racetrack, anywhere else, you could exchange money man to man. don't exchange the drug and the compensation or the, the money. Never make a man-to-man drug deal. No, there are a million ways. I used to stash shit in other people's houses, in their basement, anywhere. It was innocent. Nobody knew nothing. It might have been a scum move, but it was safe. Chimneys, anything. But I used to be a strategist. Watch one of my videos when that cartel guy came to the club. The mob was dealing with the cartels. And I ain't gonna tell that story. But if people just took the time to think, and when they speak on the phone, you talk in code. They say, "Oh no, what the hell you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You got me crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Hello, wrong number. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about." Then go over there and see him. I don't talk like that, bro. I don't talk like that. Get pissed off if you want. We already know what the code words are. What are you talking out of your? What I don't know you. Hello, wrong number. You might as well just walk into the police station. Just walk into the police station voluntarily. The way these guys would get caught so insanely. Stupid. Think they just needed to think a little, have a little patience. The deal or transaction will commence and everything will be fine. But because you gotta always, you have to assume that there are always eyes on you, and every phone is tapped. So these wise guys know that, and they still go down like chumps. You gotta think that every time, and even when you're home talking to your spouse, there might be something around the damn house. They used to get their things swept. They would get their houses swept. Whoever had the best technology, sometimes the FBI had good technology, but sometimes there was better technology. It kept advancing. Who had the best technology for wires? I mean, so I'm rambling on here. But I forgot what this original video. Oh, that scumbag Georgia DA, Fulton County DA, that scum, Fani Willis, trying to railroad Donald Trump. She's gonna end up getting charged when the smoke clears. She's gonna end up getting charged. And it's going to come out where Joe Biden and the DOJ, the Department of Justice, instructed her to charge Donald Trump. It'll come out. So, hey, I appreciate you guys coming in here. James, thank you, buddy. I'm just going to keep pumping these videos out, and wherever the channel goes, it goes. So thanks for keeping me company. Stay safe. God bless you all. Thanks, James, for staying with me, buddy. So I'll see you next time. Thank you.